first, fair, accurate. From our newsrooms in Eugene, Roseburg, and Coos Bay, KVAL News starts now.
Coming up on KVAL News this morning, high heat leads to explosive wildfire growth. Details on the major fires that are only expected to get bigger with extreme conditions.
Plus, all the smoke from those fires is settling in the valleys, and that could be trouble for people with health issues. We'll have the latest on the air quality in our area and those who could be at risk from the air particles.
And a deadly explosion levels part of a school with kids right outside. The latest on the investigation into the blast and more coming up. Good morning. It's Thursday, August 3rd, 2017. It's now the top of the hour. I'm Megan Shin.
And I'm Cameron Walker. Thank you for joining us. Well, firefighters say it was a cigarette being tossed into a flower pot that was responsible for a duplex fire that happened early this morning.
That's right. Call records show fire crews responding around 3 this morning to the 2000 block of Lakewind Drive in Eugene. Eugene Springfield Fire tells us smoke detectors woke up the residents and allowed them to get to safety. Firefighters say cement tires on the roof made it tough to access the fire, and fire officials say with current hot weather, it's even more important to be careful when discarding cigarettes. And Governor Kate Brown has declared a state of emergency due to wildfires and extreme heat. This gives the state agencies more resources for fighting fires and also allows the National Guard to mobilize if needed. Meanwhile, all this high heat has caused the Whitewater fire near Mount Jefferson to explode in size. It is now 1,800 acres and containment is down to 5%. More than 200 people are fighting the fire in steep terrain while heavy machinery works to clear fuel from roadways. Several helicopters are also in action. Another major fire burning right now is the Spruce Lake fire near Crater Lake National Park. The managers there say the fire is 1,400 acres right now, but they expect significant growth thanks to hot and dry conditions as well as strong winds. Now, several trails are closed in that area, including the segment of Pacific Crest Trail. The fire is only 5% contained right now.
Well, fire crews were able to keep a brush fire contained to just 1 acre near Mount Pisgah off CV Loop Road. Officials tell us that someone called in the blaze from Clearwater Park in Springfield around 4 o'clock yesterday morning. The flames were near the bank of the Willamette River. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
And we talked with Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley about federal funding for fighting wildfires. Merkley says the Appropriations Committee budgeted money to cover the 10-year average for fires, plus several $100 billion as a buffer.
If you take the top 2% of forest fires in the country and fund them through a FEMA-type organization, Federal Emergency Management Agency, and treat them the way you treat a hurricane or an earthquake or a flood, that would make the fire budget sufficient under the current construction. We wouldn't end up in fire borrowing. That would be a vast improvement.
He says in the past they've had to borrow from the National Forest Service funds to pay for firefighting. Merkley says they shut down the other Forest Service activities to pay for firefighting wildfires.
And you'll probably see a haze in the air today. All that stuff is coming from wildfires burning all over the state as well as up in Canada. The Lane Regional Air Protection Agency says that smoke poses a health risk. Right now, El Rapa's gauges show the air in the Eugene-Springfield area and Cottage Grove as unhealthy. Oak Ridge rates a moderate at the moment. Children, the elderly, pregnant women, and those folks with allergies are the most sensitive to pollutants like smoke.
It's really tiny little particulates from smoke that are easily inhaled and can be lodged into your bloodstream and into your lungs and very difficult to expel, and it can cause a whole wide range of respiratory issues.
El Rapa says they're also watching out for elevated levels of ground-level ozone pollution caused by the extreme heat. Now, if you're having trouble breathing, El Rapa encourages you to stay inside and give your doctor a call. They say the smoke could linger into the weekend. El Rapa does post hourly air quality updates. We have that information on our website. And speaking of those triple-digit temperatures, they're dangerous, both for humans and for our pets. Springfield police tell us they've gotten a number of calls about pets left in hot cars.
That's right. An animal control officer, Brian Austin, tells us yesterday was the busiest day they've seen in his 6 years working on the force. He said he received 12 calls of dogs left in cars and wrote several criminal citations for it. Luckily, all of those animals are now safe. But Austin has advice for pet owners who are thinking about leaving their forever friend in the car.
leave them home. A 1,000 square foot house or even a 500 square foot apartment has much more air rolling through it, even if you don't have air conditioning, than a 60 to 100 square foot area inside of a vehicle.
When officers arrive to a call, they'll check the temperature inside the car and use an infrared skin monitor to determine an animal's temperature. Earlier this year, Governor Brown signed a bill allowing Good Samaritans to break into a car if they believe a reasonable danger is in place for a human or a pet. Now, Officer Austin advises anyone who sees a distressed animal to call police. An animal can die because of heat issues in as little as 40 minutes.
Well, President Trump travels to West Virginia today for another campaign-style rally. Now, this event comes amid growing interest on Capitol Hill into Donald Trump Jr.'s controversial meeting with a Russian lawyer during the campaign. CBS News has learned congressional investigators want to take a look at the phone and email records of everyone involved in that meeting, including Jared Kushner and Paul Manafort.
The White House is once again taking aim at immigration reform. President Trump is throwing his support behind the bill to introduce a merit-based system for green card applicants. It favors skilled applicants who can also speak in English, and the RISE Act would also cut the number of refugees admitted each year from 110,000 to just 50,000. It also calls for major cuts in family-based immigration rules. Right now, whether the bill has enough support to become law is unclear.
Well, let's get over to our question of the day now. Yesterday, what we asked was, a new poll found that when temperatures get really hot outside, people are twice as likely to do this at night. The answer turned out to be ordering takeout.
That would be me. Well, today's question of the day is a review shows this seated activity can raise your breathing rate by 40%. If you think you know the answer, email us at morning@kval.com, or you can guess on Facebook and Twitter with hashtag #LiveOnKval. We'll share some of your guesses throughout the morning and have the answer before CBS this morning.
First blush, the guess that comes to me is driving.
Oh, that would be a good one.
I think anyway, I mean, it could be a lot higher than 40% if you're like angry.
In LA traffic?
Yes, depending where
Fuming?
you are. Here, and like I drive like a grandpa, so it's maybe more like 20 or 30%.
Yeah, not a full 40.
Not a full 40, but that seems like it could be anywhere. What else?
You know, I still think that working out when you're sitting, maybe like bench pressing or whatever it could be.
Yeah, that's true. There's a whole lot of things.
Guys
Rowing,
do a
you're
lot
on a
of
rowing machine. That'd be
still
a lot
sitting.
More, yeah. So keep those guesses coming. Send us all your exercise tips.
Yep.
It's 4 after the hour now, and coming up with the temperatures going up, even football camps need some time to cool off. We'll take a look at that and more next in KVAL Sports.